Just gonna go over today's trades. I took one in the morning, one afternoon. The one I did in the afternoon, I lost. The one in the morning, I made money. I did the one in the afternoon just because I want practice with the PM session because I never really trade the PM session. So, but I de-risked a lot. This was one contract, and these up here were yeah five. So, mm, we'll go into this morning's trades. The purple boxes are high volume nodes from Session Profile that I've been using. Um, I can do a video on that if you guys want. Um, so basically right off rip as we're going into New York AM session, I noticed that we had a market structure shift, followed by a respect of this volume imbalance and order block. So on the next order block I entered a little high. I wish I would have waited for the 50% of this rejection wick, the volume imbalance, or just waited for more of this, or just waited for this wick to get filled, but I was antsy to get in a trade. And then I just aimed for the bottom of this high volume node, which also lined up with this minor buy side liquidity. Going into New York AM session for the New York AM kill zone, there was this trade right here where you have a inverse fair value gap right here. Looks like that, which is not exactly a market structure shift, but it's close. And so I treat them similarly sometimes, not all the time. So if you treat that as a market structure shift, you could have entered on this bullish order block right here, or if you wanted to wait for this market structure shift, you could have entered on the re-entrance into this volume imbalance on this wick right here, and then aimed for um, this high volume node. Or, but sadly, this liquidity doesn't get taken out. We weren't bullish enough, but I did not take this trade. I was just trying to get a trade quick and done, just first thing I saw, because I wasn't really sure even if I wanted to trade this morning. But I ended up trading. So that was five contracts. I wish I would have waited longer for that entry. I tend to do that a lot, where like I try to enter as soon as there's a viable entry, when in reality I should wait for a larger retrace. Same thing happened this afternoon where I entered really early in the retrace where there was a volume imbalance all the way up here, and I could have waited for that to get hit, which this is also a very strong, not a volume imbalance, an inverse fair value gap. This is very strong because we have these highs right behind it, and there's no big bodies right behind it, and also this previous high falls into this inverse fair value gap. So there's a bunch of reasons why this is a really strong inverse fair value gap. And so I entered as soon as we came into this fair value gap. I just got entered super low, and then it retraced a ton. I had my stops up here, and then we made a new high, put my stops there. Then we made a new high down here, put my stops there. I basically just trailed my stop loss pretty aggressively down, and then I got stopped out on this wick right here because I think I had my stops right here, which lost me like 25 bucks or something like that. But yeah, I entered off the market structure shift and the retrace, and then I was hoping to take out um where was I planning on going? Oh yeah, I was planning on having a take profit right down here at the bottom of this high volume node. But you know, that didn't happen. We uh expanded to the upside before reversing to the downside for the end of the day. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But um, the same trade would have worked had I just entered up here rather than entering down here. I knew that we'd have a bearish move in the afternoon. I knew that we weren't going to reverse and go higher, just from my bias, and so it was unfortunate to see it play out later, but it didn't really matter. It is what it is. This was this morning's trade, 540 bucks. The afternoon's trade, I lost like 25 bucks. So, and I am starting to enter with higher contract sizes. So, like my goal for the next couple weeks is like the past week or two, I did like really minimal sizing, where I did like a contract or two, and I want to size it up to five contracts base entry, and then two or three contract pyramids on top of that. So. Yeah, that's gonna be my move from here. I did really well the past like 2 weeks as far as win rate goes, so I figured if I can do that, there's no reason I can't do it with five contracts. So yeah, it's micros too, they're not full contracts. So I'll trade that the rest of this week, probably into next week for all of my spring break, and then I'll start trading maybe a full mini, just a regular mini, when I go back to school, but we'll see. So that is it for me today. The jump this morning, if any of you caught that, that is insane. Very well done. Um, it's crazy. You should tell me how you did it because I didn't see that coming. I just woke up to it this morning and I was like, what the hell is that? Um, but yeah, no, that was a pretty solid day. Uh, we also saw, let's see, Bitcoin rallying 5% and gold is not really up. Gold tanked a ton. I actually ended up buying more of it now that it tanked. Um, but yeah, no, all good stuff. I'm currently just messing around with these high volume nodes. I don't really know what I'm doing with them. And then POCs down here, value area low and value area high. I don't totally know what I'm doing with them. I'm trying to get practice because Axel, that guy that I've told you guys about, TapX, or I guess I told you about TapX. His name is Axel. Um, I guess Angel, but uh, he uses a little bit of volume profile. I don't know how, but I saw it in some TikTok post or something. He said that he used POC as a confluence, so I'm trying to learn a little bit more about volume profile. My roommate also trades volume profile, so I figured it would be beneficial. So, anyways, that is it for me today. I hope you all had a good day, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.